One musty Sunday in August 2012 in Overcome Heights, my opposite neighbors had been drinking, partying, dancing, playing loud music, shouting and swearing since early that morning. When around midday the party ended, the mother decided to visit a brother in Steenberg, leaving behind her husband who has also been drinking and their 3-year-old son. Me and my father was alone at home at the time when we suddenly got a strong smell of fire smoke and went outside to look. We went outside to see where the fire was coming from. We saw smoke and flames coming out of the roof of the neighbor's house. We started running around, screaming for help, filling buckets with water, trying to blast the fire. A few minutes later, more community members came to help, but by then, the fire was already wild and out of control. At that point, we decided to break down parts of the shack to avoid it from spreading. Suddenly, we heard screaming and crying. We realized, oh my, it was a 3-year-old little boy and he was trapped inside the burning shack. My father and some guys tried to break the door open. By the time they got the door open, the flames were everywhere. I fell to the ground on my knees, crying and screaming. I was feeling so afraid, heartbroken, pained and scared. We heard how the little boy was crying while he was burning in the fire. We heard, "Ah," as his voice fades away, and that's when we realized that he had burned to death. By the time the forensics came, we saw how 2 bodies had burned out. Little did we know, the father was also inside the house, and by then had burned out as well. I was in a state of shock and heartbroken. I just stood there as tears flowed from my eyes. After a few days, one of the community members bought the distraught family a brand new shack. They lived there for a month or so, but couldn't endure the pain, fears, and heartache of their lost ones. That's when the mother decided to move to the brother's house in Steenberg. The family never received counseling after the fire outbreak. The elder son was away at the time the fire had started, but since it had happened, he had been mentally disturbed and needs to spend time in an institution. Up until now, we are not sure how the fire started. Although it wasn't my house that had burned out, I've learned a lot of lessons from this tragic experience. I made more exits in my home, created space around my furniture, so when a fire should break, I would have easy access to my personal belongings and it would be easier to remove my things. And whenever I leave my kids with someone else, I make sure it's a responsible and sober-minded adult, because in this case, the father was under the influence of alcohol. Oh, may their souls rest in peace. That's how terribly our lives are affected by fire. We are still living in fear, but we try to manage and move on.